we will try to understand what is a data loader, what is the purpose of a data loader. Till now, what we are doing is uploading one by one record into the object. We are clicking on the tab, new, then we are entering the data manually. What if you get a huge amount of data? Let us say on daily basis, some third party system is giving you some 1000 records or 5,000 records. You want them to upload, or else now everyday basis, let us say Google AdWords people, the Google people, Maps people, they're getting the data from third party, they're cross checking the data, they're verifying the location of the companies, and whatever the verified locations are there, they'll be sent to the Google AdWords as a leads. Now the data is coming to me. Now the data is coming to me in the form of Excel sheet. Then how will you upload it? If you want to handle a huge amount of record at a time, I cannot do it manually one by one. So if you want to handle a huge amount of data, then how will you handle it? Then we go for ETL tools. Salesforce has given you built-in ETL tool. Salesforce has given you built-in ETL tool. Salesforce has given you built-in ETL tool. So that ETL tool is a data loader. Using the data loader, we can insert, update, delete, export all, perform export all operations. We can up to 5 million records at a day. Using data loader, we can upload 5 million records at a time into Salesforce. The data loader was built on Java. The ETL tool built on Java, it's exe file. So, if not, Salesforce has given one more option to us, which is called wizards. Using the wizard, we will be uploading the data. But the point here is, we can only upload up to 50,000 records using a wizard. If you don't want to go for a ETL tool, then we can use built-in wizard. Using that wizard, we can upload only 50,000 records at a time. So first we'll start with data loader, then we'll go with the import wizards. Now, first, how do you install the data loader? How to install the data loader? How to work with the data loader? The first primary point is, I told data loader is built on Spring 2.x. First, we need to download the data loader, install the data loader on your system. Download the data loader, install the data loader on your system. Once you install the data loader on your system, it's the exe file. So the data loader was installed on your system. The resource, what is there on your system? That resource has to be uploaded to the Salesforce. So the ETL tool is installed on your system. It's an exe file, it should be installed on your system. Let us see how to download, how to install this. Setup, administer, data management, data loader. Setup, administer, data management, data loader. When you click on this, it will ask you, is it for Windows or Mac? So download the file. When you download the file, you get an exe file. You get this exe file. When you download, it's the exe file. When you download, it's the exe file. When you get the exe file, just click on next. So when you click on this download data loader for Windows, you get this exe file. Just install it. Agree to the terms. The data loader is installed. It's the exe file, just give next, next, next and save it. Now it's installed, we got the structure. Once you got this, now the question is, how do you log in? We got the data loader, now we are supposed to log in. How do you log in? When you want to log in, there are two formats given, OAuth or password authentication. When you say OAuth, it is a open authentication. When you say OAuth, it will ask you, what is the environment, production or sandbox? I told it's a production environment. Then when you click on login, it will ask you to enter, pop-up window will open. It will ask you to enter username, password. Verification email was sent. Then login was successful. Start working with it. So what was that? When you say login, they'll ask you OAuth, choose the environment as production or sandbox, depends upon your requirement. Enter the username, password. It may ask you for verification code, or it will not be asking for verification code, depends upon your IP address. Then enter the verification code, you will be logged into the data loader. You can start working with this. Second one is, I have another format. What is the other format of logging in? What was the other format? Now, password authentication. When you say password authentication, now if you remember, network access, when I am discussing about the login issues, I told login ranges and network access. Do you remember that? Now I told, if your IP address is whitelisted, if the company IP, if the system IP address is whitelisted, you don't require any security token. If it is not whitelisted, what should I do is go to the user, my settings, personal, reset security token, setup, admin, okay, setup, sorry, username, my settings, personal, username, personal, reset my security token, reset. Once again, username, my settings, personal, reset my security token, reset it. Then you got your security token. So this I have to use it. How will I use it? Then login was successful. So what is that? Username, password followed by security token. Username, password followed by security token. This is what I have given. This is what I have given. So how do you log in? There are two ways of logging in. One is through OAuth. Second is through your username, password. Password plus security token. Password plus security token. Right. So let's see this critical information now. How to log into Salesforce data loader. So data loader, it's the ETL tool provided by the Salesforce to perform insert, update, upset, delete, or export the data from the Salesforce to external system or external system to Salesforce. How to download the data loader? Setup, administer, data management, data loader, download the data loader for Windows. Install is exe file, is give next, next, next. In the older version, we had an issue. Now it is not coming. In the older version, we have Salesforce was upgraded to TLS 1.2 previously. From SSL, it has migrated to TLS. Then we used to get an issue here. That time we used to resolve it using this format. Now we are not getting this issue. In the previous, in case if we get this issue, but now we are not getting. In the older versions, like previous to two releases, we had this issue. It was migrated from TLS 1.1 to 1.2. Then we had a SSL certificate issue. Okay, that's why I have given this point. But now you don't encounter this problem. Okay. Then how to log into Salesforce? How to log into data loader? There are two ways: using OAuth, using password. Using OAuth, choose the environment type, production or sandbox. Provide the Salesforce credential of the user who want to log in. Verification code will be sent to the email. Enter the verification code, click allow access. If it is using a password, generate security token. How do you generate? Username, my settings, personal, reset by security token. Then security token will be sent to your registered email address of the user. Open the data loader, choose the password format, Salesforce username, Salesforce password plus security token, followed by password followed by security token. Now, this is the way to log in. Okay. Next, up to how many records the data loader will support? Data loader will support up to 5 million records. Up to how many records? 5 million records it will support. Right. What are the standard objects it is going to support? Not every standard object will support it. Let us understand the objects which are supported. Data loader is going to support lead, account, contact, opportunity, price book, product, event, task. Your Salesforce is going to support the data loader of the Salesforce is going to support lead, account, contact, opportunity, price book, product, event, task, user. These are the objects which are going to be supported. Now, what are the custom objects which are supported? Every custom object will be supported. Every custom object will be supported. How many records are supported by the data loader? I told 5 million. Then how do you export the data? First, let us start with exporting the data. Exporting the data means from Salesforce, we are fetching the data. Click on export. Or else I want to insert the data. First, let us start with export. When you say export, choose the object. You want to export the data. You want to export the data. Then they are asking, which object you want to export? Account. Where you want to export the data? Choose the folder. I want to export the data to data loader folder. What is the format of the data? CSV. CSV, comma separated values. Choose the object, choose the destination. Then, do you want to export all the fields of the record? There may be 200 or 300 or 400 fields. Do you want to export everything? I told I'm interested in exporting. As per my requirement, I require ID, name, type. I'm exporting few fields here. Phone, industry. No. Select the fields in which you want to export. Now, do you want to apply any where condition? Where industry equal to banking, this data where, okay, created data equal to today, you can apply your condition here. Account source equal to. We can apply your condition. If you want, you can apply the condition. Now, once you selected this, then click on finish. Now what happened? The data which was there in the account object was extracted. How many records are extracted? 14 records are extracted. View extraction. 14 records are extracted. Now we are getting the data onto your system. So what was this called? Export. What was this called? Export. Exporting the data from Salesforce to your desktop. Now when you export, the data which was there in the object, they are exported. Up to 14 records we got here. The records which are in the account object, we received it. Now the point here is, do you have any deleted records in the recycle bin? Look at this. How many records are there? 2 labs are there. In account object, how many records we have? 14 records. So when I exported, the records which are in the object, they are exported. The records which are deleted, they are not exported, right? But when you go to export all, when you go to export all, when you say export all, choose the data. How many records are exported? 17 records. So what is the difference between export and export all? Export means data which was there in the object. Export all means data which was there in the object and also deleted. The deleted record as well as non-deleted records, everything will be exported. Records which are deleted, they still will be there in the object for how many days? 15 days. So those records are there, they will be fetched. Records which are deleted, still there in the object, that data will be exported. So that's what I got here. So how do you perform export? Select the export option, choose the object, specify the location and extraction of the file, select the fields, specify the filter condition if you have any, click on finish. Export all, select export all, choose the object, choose the location where you want to store the file, choose the fields, apply filter if you want, finish. Difference between export and export all. When we export, only data in the object is exported. When you say export all, including the data which is deleted, not deleted, will be exported. Now let us go to the next format. What was that? Insert new record. How do you insert a new record? No, I'm giving here. For your understanding, I'll just give. So this is the data I have. I want to insert this data. Now, look at this. How do you insert the data? Go to the insert, choose the object, choose the CSV file. Now fields what I gave in the Excel sheet, they may or may not match with the fields in the table. I might have given customer name. In the account object there may be account name. So which field in the CSV should be mapped with which field in the object, because the label names in the CSV may or may not match with field names in the object. Label names in the CSV may or may not match with label names in the CSV may or may not match with label names in the object. Right. Let us go with this. Then create or edit the map. Auto match the field. Now we are giving auto map means fields are mapped. Then what is it? Account name. Account number, account source. Account. Next. What happened? 16 records are successfully. Go back to the object. This is how data was inserted. Right. Now what did I do? Insert object, choose the CSV, next map the fields, this is how we created, map the fields, then click on next, finish. So automatically records are going to be inserted. Right. First we need to create a CSV file, then upload it. Once we have inserted, we are going to get success and error files here. Look at this. Success and error files. This is how we got it. Now these are the records. Now what I want to do, I want to update these records. Then so right. This is how we got it. Go to the data loader. We are trying to perform update operation. So in the update, what we are doing, choose the object, choose the CSV, then next create or map the fields, whichever the field is not mapping here. Next. So what happened? There are 16 records which are successfully updated. Look at the data, education and banking. So whatever the data you want to upload, create a CSV file, click on update, upload the file, and we'll be able to do it. If you look at this, all these operation what we are doing is only supporting what? CSV format. Which format of data is supported? CSV format data is supported. Okay. Then go to delete.
Satish, what is the UTF-8 CSV and CSV difference, please?
Encoding format was. It's only encoding format differences. Right. Now look at the format. I want to delete it. Choose the object. Next. When you want to delete, only ID is required. Only ID is required. Just if you know the ID, we will perform deletion. Right. Look at this. The records what I mentioned are deleted. So if you want to perform any operation called update or delete, it is a mandatory that we need to provide a Salesforce record ID. If I want to perform any operation called, if I want to perform any operation called update or delete, it is a mandatory that Salesforce record ID should be provided. If you want to perform any operation called update or delete, it is a mandatory that we have to provide a Salesforce record ID. Again, I repeat, if you want to perform any operation called update or delete, it is a mandatory that we have to provide a Salesforce record ID. If you don't provide the record ID, we will not be able to update or we will not be able to delete. It is a mandatory that we need to provide Salesforce record ID for performing update or delete. I hope you are clear with this. Okay. Now, let us go back to the next one. Upset operation. What is this upset operation? If record is already existing, then update it. If record is not existing, then create it. Let us say we are getting the data from external system. Let us assume we have SAP system. We are getting the data to Salesforce. Now, SAP people from SAP application, we are getting the data. Now, my requirement is when you are getting the data from SAP to Salesforce, I want to check whether the record exists or not. If the record exists, then update it. If record doesn't exist, then create it. If record exists, update it. If the record doesn't exist, then create it. When data is coming from SAP, when data was coming from SAP, I want to check. When the data was coming from SAP to Salesforce, I want to check whether the data is already existing or not. If data is not existing, I want to. If the data is not existing, I want to create it. If it is already existing, I want to update it. If it is already existing, I want to update it. If it is not existing, I want to create it. I hope you got my point. If data is already existing, I want to update it. If it is not existing, I want to create it. Then, on what basis you say record is existing or not? On what basis you say record is existing or not? Let us say if data is going from Salesforce to SAP, then Salesforce people may share SFDC ID. Salesforce may say ID of the Salesforce, okay, SFDC ID. Salesforce may say SFDC ID. Then the SAP people, when they are sending back, I will say if the record ID is existing, update it, not existing, create it. No, it is not two-way communication, it is only one-way communication. Only SAP is sending the data to SFDC. Then SAP people doesn't have any idea of the Salesforce. Only they send the data. Then on what basis you say record exists or not? When you said duplicate data exists, on what basis you are saying the duplicate record exists? Then they told they'll choose any one of the field as external ID field. They will choose any one of the field as external ID field. When they choose any one of the field as external ID field, when they choose any one of the field as external ID field, when they choose any one of the field as external ID field, then if that field, the value in the field is already existing, if the value in the if the value in the if the value in the field is already existing, it will update, otherwise it will create. So what we are supposed to do? We are supposed to create one external ID field. Go back please. I was trying to create one field here. Look at this. What was that? External ID. So we have created that field as external ID field. Let's go to the folder, create some data. Name, email. Now look at this. Now, this is the data what I had. This is the data. If you look at this, extra ID is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 I gave twice. Now look at this. In employee object, Satish, I gave ID 1. So ID 1 is already existing, 2, 3, 4 is not existing, 5 is also not existing, but I gave twice. 1 is already existing, 2, 3, 4 are not existing, 5 I gave twice. So go to the data loader, upset. First I need to log out and log in again because the changes are made on fields. Next, then we have employee object, choose the file, right. Choose ID. What is it? IDR, my ID. Choose IDR, my ID. I chosen my ID. Create or edit map. Map it. So offset is performed based on external ID field. You look at this, 4 successfully upsets, 2 failure. What are the 4 successfully upsetted? 1 updated, because 1 is already existing item updated. 2, 3, 4 created, which I gave twice, 5. It failed because I gave duplicate. I have duplicate entries in the Excel sheet, so it failed. So upset, if data is already existing, it will update it. Data is not existing, it will create it. So I can perform the upset based on ID or external ID field. I can perform the upset based on ID field or external ID field. Now, which of the fields can be chosen as external ID field? I cannot choose every field as external ID field. I can choose only number field, text field, email field as external ID field. Which fields I can choose as external ID field? Number field, email field, text field. Number, email, text. Number, email, text. These are the 3 fields which I can choose as external ID fields. Number, I can choose number, email, text. Number, email, text. Alright, I hope you are good with this. Okay. So this is all about the data loader. Insert, update, upset, delete, export, export all. For performing update or delete, ID is required. For performing the upset, ID or external ID is required. External ID can be a number field, text field, or a email field. I have to go to the field and enable the checkbox called external ID. Then, how many records? 5 million records. Okay. Now, when you are entering this, there's a couple of settings here. Look at the point. Now, when you are uploading 5 million records, at a time how they are uploaded? They are broken into batch. It is not atomic, it is non-atomic. Any one of the record fail, only that particular record will fail. Rest of the operation will be successful. It is a non-atomic. It is a asynchronous. When you say asynchronous, what does it mean? Boss, we are going to break the data into number of batches. 200, 200, 200, we are going to break it. We are going to break the data into number of batches. 200, 200, 200 like this. All of them will run parallelly. It is not like first 200, followed by second 200, followed by third. All the 200 batches, what is there, all of them will run at a time. There is a reason the data, the order of the data in the CSV file and order of insertion, both will not be the same. Okay. Then what we have here? Insert null values. If I don't insert null values, what is this insert null values? I got insert null values. When I say insert null values, look at the point. Insert null values. If you don't enter the value, it will take it as a blank. If you don't enter the value, it will take it as a blank. Now, in case if you have assignment rules, we can give it. Now, what are the other things? Yeah, European date format. Generally, if you are entering the data, you have to give it as a year, month, day. But when you enter the data in the CSV file, it will take the data in the form of day, month, year. As per our Indian time, it will be taking day, month, so on. Now, if you basically the Salesforce is accepting the date in the form of year, month, day. So if you want to enter the date in the form of day, month, year, we have to enable this option. Otherwise, you have to enter the date value in the form of year, month, day. Then field truncation. In case the length of the field is, if the data what you are providing is crossing the length of the field, we can go with this. Now, by default, it's 200. When it's a bulk API, it will increase the size to 2000 per batch. Okay. Then we have enable serial mode. When you say enable serial mode, now you broke them into 2000, 2000, 2000. You want to run them sequentially. Then you go for bulk mode. What is the time zone? The current user who logged in, his time zone is taken. Basically, I want to convey 2 points here. One is the date format, other one is the time zone. Okay. Now, what is the default size? 200. What is the default size? 200. 200 is the default size. Okay. If you want to increase, you can increase it. The next one. What is the time zone? Current user who logged in. If there is any lookup field, how will you give it? If there is any lookup field, when you are entering the data, if there is any lookup field or a master detail field, how will you do that? We are supposed to go with providing the ID of the record. If there is any lookup field or a master detail field, you are supposed to provide ID of the record. You are supposed to provide ID of the record. If there is any lookup field or a master detail field, while entering the data, you have to provide ID of the master record. ID of the parent record. Okay, boss. So this is all about what? Data loader. Now, can you schedule this data loader? Yes, we can schedule it from command line. How can you schedule? From the command line, we can schedule it. Can you connect with the external system directly from SAP? I want to fetch the data directly push into Salesforce. Yes, we can do it. For that, we need to understand command line data loader. We'll be discussing it, okay, in the middle of the program or end of the programs. Okay, it requires some Bean programs are required for understanding command line. So in the command line data loader, we'll be giving some Bean format of Excel. Okay, execution. We'll be discussing this at the end of the development classes. Okay, then why? Because it was built on Java based. So the Bean format I'll be explaining at the end of the classes. Okay. Now let us go to the next. Salesforce has given one more format for you. What is it? One more format? Wizard. What is it? Wizard? Administer, data management, data import wizard. Setup, administer, data management wizard. Launch, now we have standard object. It is only going to support accounts and contacts, leads, solution, campaign member. It is only going to support accounts and contacts, leads, solution, campaign member. It is also going to support all the custom objects. Standard objects are only account, contact, lead, solution, campaign member. So to be specific, account, contact, and lead. It is not going to support every object that data loader is supporting. It will only support account, contact, lead, solution, campaign member. Up to how many records it will support? 50,000 records. It will support only up to 50,000 records. Then go to this, choose the object, add a new record, update the existing record, upset. Insert, update, upset. Insert, update, upset. Add a new record. It is asking, do you want to check for the duplicate? Do you want to check for the duplicate? Yes. Do you want to check for the duplicate? Specify. On what basis you want to check the duplicate? No, I want to insert every record, insert it. CSV file, choose the file. Next. Map the fields. Map the fields. CSV fields, Salesforce object fields. Now what was this? No installations required. Directly we are using a wizard, uploading. But the problem is up to 50,000 records only. But the problem is up to 50,000 records only. What we are doing once again, data management, wizard, launch, choose the object. Really? By name. CSV. Map the fields. Next. Start import. No. Job is in the queue. Right, boss. The job is in the queue, it will perform. But whereas when you go to data loader, it is instant. It is a queue, it is a part of a queue job. Any job we are performing, it is added to the queue. From the queue, it is going to run. Because it is added to the queue, I cannot guarantee how long it takes. It will be instant or it may take some time. Now look at this. I am only uploading 3 records, but still it is in the pending state. But when you go to the data loader, it is immediate, instantly it can perform. I hope you are good. Okay. But advantage of this import wizard is in the data loader, if I give Satish123, Satish123, in the data loader, the record will insert 2 times. But in the import wizard, It will ask you. You want to match by what? Name. If Satish is already there, don't insert the record. Only one insert will be done. So I can check for the duplicates in the data import wizard. I cannot check for the duplicates in the data loader. So what is the advantage of this data loader? It will support more number of objects. It will support 5 million records. It's instant. What is the drawback of import wizard? It's only 50,000, only few objects, and it's not instant. It's a queue-based job. It's a queue-based job. I hope you are good. Advantage of data loader, advantage of import wizard. We can check duplicates and no need of any installation. We can do it from the internal system. Right. Then when you go to the next data management, what is the format we have? Export wizard. When you say export wizard, you want to export the data. Select the object which you want to export. Choose whatever the object you want. Select the object. Start export. You want to export right now or you want to schedule it? But the problem here is, did they give any choice for you? Which data you want? Which fields you want? The complete object is exported. Now, I want only phone numbers of the employees. But it was giving me complete data. I want only name and phone numbers of employees who are created today. But it is giving me all the data. So I don't have the flexibility to check which data I want to take, which fields I want to take. It is exporting the complete data. That's the drawback. Advantage is easy process. When you want to take a backup of the data, this is a good option. I hope you're good. Right? So we have data loader, import wizard, and export wizard. Now, what are the other options we have? Storage usage. This will give you analysis of how many records are there in which, according to the object wise, how many records are there, how much space they occupy. The storage usage. Mass transfer records. Now, generally, if you want to transfer the record, what I will do? Go to the record, then change the owner. Go to the record, change the owner from Satish to. We are changing the owner like this. You don't have a read access. Okay. Now this is how we are changing the owner. But when you go to the mass transfer, I can transfer a group of records directly. Transfer the records from Satish to student. With whose industry equals to. So get me all the account records which are owned by Satish, whose industry is energy. There are 3 records. Select them, transfer. So at a time we are able to transfer a group of records. Generally, if you want to transfer the owner, one by one record I have to click and modify it. But here, specify the condition. Records owned by Satish, whose industry equal to energy, transfer them to student. Right? Which is called mass transfer. At a time we are able to transfer the list of record. Mass delete. Whose industry equals to blank. Record scheme. Select them. This is not available for all the objects, only standard CRM objects. We are able to delete the records at a time. Mass delete. Mass transfer approval. Records which are submitted to me. Records which are submitted to me, I want to reassign to someone else. In the approval process, all the records which are submitted to Satish, I want to reassign to someone else. So what is that called? Mass transfer request. Now let us say, now records are submitted to Satish. Satish is resigning from the company. All the records which are assigned to Satish, they should be reassigned to someone else. Then I will go with the mass transfer request. Specify the condition. Records will come. Say to whom you want to transfer. Or getting records which are assigned to one person, you want to reassign to someone else. Records which are meeting the following condition, they are reassigned to someone else for approval process. Okay. Then state and country pick list. Now, wherever the Salesforce is using, country, state, same list of options will come, like our global pick list. There, if you want to add any new country or any new state, we'll go with this. Wherever the Salesforce is using an option, wherever Salesforce is using an option, okay, pick list will call state, country, territory, the same list of options will come here. Here you want to deactivate some countries, you want to activate some countries, then we can do this. Adding a new country in the pick list, new state, new territory can be done here. Are you getting my point? So by default, Salesforce standard fields are there. What are they? State, country. In the state, what are the list of states should be displayed? What are the list of countries should be displayed? They will be available here. You want to disable them, enable them, add new option, we can do this. Right. If you disable this, you cannot modify this option using program. If you disable it, you cannot modify the options of the pick list using a program. Then mass update. This is a programmable concept. Mass update. Mass update means all the records whose country is Japan reassigned to USA. So what is that? All the records whose country is so and so or whose state is so and so, reassign them to another state, reassign them to another country. I told all the records whose country is USA, replace the values with the total 25 records are there. When I replace all those countries, all the countries will be replaced with Japan. Are you getting? Practically, we don't use all this stuff, okay? Because options are available, I'm giving you. Okay. So what was this? Data management. Basically, in this, we are going to work with